All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start this presentation, I, if you allow me, I'd like to share a personal experience. I was actually sitting down, just like you did, about 2.5 years ago, when I attended one of the CTG events when Professor Peng was actually going through all the labor laws. And honestly, I've gone completely, utterly confused. Not because not only because my Chinese was not that good, in fact, it was really complicated. And but fortunately, and I'm thankful that after 2.5 years, after working in China, that when I was sitting down there, the flashback, I realized I actually could understand every bit of what Professor Peng has said. So I was actually quite pleased with myself on that. So I'm sure and I hope that will happen to you as well. Okay, enough of that personal experience. I'm very honored to be invited here at this event to actually share our experience with you. And one of the main reasons why I'm here today is that I would like to sincerely thank, on behalf of the company, Federal Express, to thank CTG for their support in the past 4 years working with us together. Really a good partnership that we have. All right. But before that, I go there. This is some procedural that I would like to let you know more about my company. What exactly FedEx is. I believe all of you would have actually seen a lot of ads recently at the subway station with our overnight service from Hong Kong to Paris. So if you have taken subway recently, you see lots of pictures there here in Hong Kong. It's one of the largest express company. We move 7.5 million packages a day, over 220 countries, with 275 members around the world, 661 aircrafts, and 80,000 vehicles. And what we did in China most recently is that we opened up the APAC hub in 2009, that's last year, and then we launched the China domestic service in 2007. And that was actually when we started working a lot with CTG. All right, moving on. We actually started our partnership since June 2006. And then CTG actually helped us to serve 3,000 employees over 70 cities across China. That is only a fraction of what Tina has presented, 200 cities. So I guess that's about 1/3 of it. All right. What services has CTG provided to FedEx so far? I think one of the very important is actually the employees' government files, which we call 档案. CTG has actually helped us to transfer in and out of employees' 档案. They actually help us to provide services, especially for newborn child registration. The second service that they have provided is actually one of the most complicated. That's actually the social insurance management, which Tina has touched on as well. In terms of registration, submitting the contribution on a timely and on a monthly basis to ensure there's no disruption to our employees' contribution. And also transferring the social insurance in and out of the company, and also the Labor Bureau audit. That's actually what CTG has helped. And the third service, which we are very grateful to work with CTG, is actually the temporary employees management. As you know, we have cities across China, and we need actually some of the services that we have. We need temp employees, and actually CTG has actually helped a lot on that as well. What other services? That includes work permit, residence visa application, labor law consultation, as well as one of the very important services that CTG has provided is to actually have on-site support in our HR Shared Services Center located in Wuhan. There are altogether 4 professionals dedicated to FedEx at our office. All right, so you may have, oh, very, very nice music there. Oh, very good. Give me a second to think. All right, very good. All right, why CTG? Actually, when we, like I said earlier on, when FedEx wanted to start a domestic service in China, we actually invited a lot of vendors to actually bid for the services. And CDG actually stood out to be one of the providers that we selected, mainly because of its large network coverage and geographical coverage in China. Because FedEx needed to serve over 63 or even 70 cities in China. So that is actually the only service provider that FedEx could actually leverage on. So if any one of your companies actually have branches or companies or stations across China, I mean, widespread in China, I mean, this is actually a good, CDG actually has a good network to actually leverage on. And because of its large network, we can actually standardize the processes. And then the third point, like I said, CTG is able to provide on-site support for us. And then last but not least, CTG actually schedule regular visits to our locations across the country. And it's actually done twice a month in 5 major cities, and then once a month for the rest of the cities. So this is actually quite a bit collaboration between the two companies to ensure legal compliance as well. And another important point is that I have to be very honest, CTG, and on the practical, more practical side, is that it has quite a competitive pricing for us. And that actually helps a lot. And last but not least, and this is a point that I like to stress as well, that CTG actually has very high flexibilities. I think usually multinational companies like FedEx or even other large companies, there are a lot of police policies and procedures to follow, especially when it comes to approval processes. But CTG was actually very helpful and has very high flexibilities in accommodating our policies and procedures. And for that, I appreciate that, especially in our recent contract renewal process. So, and thank you then for accommodating our changes. All right, those are just some of the very brief overview and very short presentation of mine, and I hope you have enjoyed the afternoon so far, and I'm glad it's time for your coffee break.